Hi there, I'm Mike. What I have for you today is Star Wars The Black Series, San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, Sith Trooper from The Rise of Skywalker. Let's go ahead and take a look at a picture while I read the bio on the back of the box. Sith Trooper. That's it. That's all there is. There's nothing. On the box, we have a very nice red layout with a little kind of embossed artwork of the Sith Trooper. It has this very interesting, I guess, Sith? I don't know if it's Sith, but it's a very interesting emblem. It's not a first order emblem. So it is a slipcover, like most convention exclusives. The figure resides in this open area, and yes, I did open it up and take it out because, you know, it's a toy. On the back, we have a very lovely rendition of the Sith Trooper. And then on the sides, we actually have two trays. Now the trays come out with these little kind of ribbons, and this is where the weapons are held. I'm actually not a big fan of the boxes like this because if you do take them out, they don't fit back in easily, and I saved the boxes for my Black Series, but the box is nice. I do like the artwork on the box. This is cool. This is a figure from the upcoming Episode 9 movie, a movie they've been very tight-lipped about. There's a lot of speculation on him, but there's really no information. No one really knows. I mean, other than, I think they said they're part of Kylo Ren's like elite troops, like the elitist of the most elite. I mean, that's all I got. And even that for me is hearsay because I only heard that from someone. I haven't read that with my own eyes. And I'm doing this review weirdly with no rehearsal, no research. I'm just jumping in, sitting down, and giving you a review of it because I just don't feel like doing the extra work. I also don't really want to spoil anything for myself. Is that weird? Because I usually don't care about spoilers. But I was wary of researching this because I didn't want to ruin anything. Here we have the Sith Trooper out of the box. So at first glance, I mean, it's a First Order Stormtrooper, absolutely, but red and black instead of white and black. Now, I mean, I was afraid that was going to be it, but I think this is one of those designs you either love because you like the new movies and you really enjoy the stuff coming out of it, or hate because you don't like the new movies. And really, in reality, I don't think the actual design has anything to do with how good it is or not. I think a lot of people are going to look at this and kind of internalize their own biases for or against the movie and kind of make a judgment there. Despite what I just said, I think apart from that, I do love the way this looks. I mean, I love troopers. I've gone on record saying that I will buy any trooper. In fact, when I watch trailers for Star Wars movies, I just see one long toy commercial of troopers that I want to buy. I can't wait to buy more troopers, and especially red variants. I've got the red Stormtrooper from the Entertainment Earth 4-pack. I've got, Royal Guards, the Elite Praetorian Guard from The Last Jedi. I love any trooper that's red. I think they look fantastic. Now, I also hear a lot of complaints saying, oh, I bet they only get a couple seconds of screen time in the movie. Yeah, so what? Since when has the length of time a character has been in a movie stopped us from wanting a character? Jabba the Hutt's palace is filled with aliens and characters that people want, regardless of how much screen time they had. I could care less if this guy even gets cut from the movie. I love this. I think this looks fantastic, and he's gonna look fantastic on my shelf to kind of break up the monotony of all the white of the other Stormtroopers that I have. So because I dig the likeness, I mean, I can't judge what he looks like compared to the movie, but because I dig the likeness, I'm going to give it the full point. So next, let's look at his accessories. What does he come with, and what should he have come with? Actually, that last part doesn't make sense. I have no idea what he should come with. I haven't seen the movie. I know nothing about this guy, but let's take a look at what he does come with, because as the box states, he came with 5 accessories. So let's start off with number 1, this gun. This looks similar, the most similar of all of his weapons, to the regular kind of First Order Stormtrooper blaster that they all have come with so far, except for it has a bigger barrel with like a lot of holes in it. I mean, it looks like a crazy like submachine gun from like the 80s, like something Rambo would use or something. I'm not a gun guy. I honestly have no idea here. But let's talk about the sculpting. The sculpting is actually, pretty good. It's got a lot of detail molded into the plastic. It also has a lot of paint. It looks like it's black, molded in black plastic with red paint over there, and then it has some silver highlights. So it looks very, very good. It fits in his hand very, very well, but also it fits onto this little side hole on his armor very, very easily. And this is something that pretty much all First Order Stormtroopers have been able to do. So let's take a look at his next blaster here. And that one, again, I have no idea what the name is. It looks like something from Halo or Mass Effect or some kind of video game. It definitely looks video game-like, and it's my favorite of his guns by far. I love the barrel, the thickness. I love the stock that kind of fits under his arm. Again, it fits really well in his hand. It again is molded in black plastic, a lot of great detail, kind of just sculpted right into the gun. All of these are made of a very hard plastic, by the way. Not that soft rubber that some of the weapons have been made out of in the past. This one also, if you want to, can fit on his leg. Now it's a little bit weirder than the other gun because it's longer and can kind of get in the way when posing, but you know, it's there, it can happen. You can do it if you want. That's an option. It's got a little peg and it fits right into the hole. Now next he has this kind of weird underhanded Vibro Blade thing. It fits in his hand much better than some of the other handheld weapons have in the past. Those weapons never really fit well in their hands. It always kind of slips out. This one, the handle isn't molded into a cylinder like on those other weapons. It's actually molded like an actual gun grip. So, I mean, you can have him hold it like a gun if you want to, but that just seems wrong. So underhand is kind of the way to go there. I definitely like the look of this weapon, and it looks good in his offhand. Weapon number 4 is very similar to weapon number 3, but instead of being a blade, it's like a claw? I guess it's useful for picking up trash on the side of the road when he does his first order community service. Or, you know, if he's going up against Grasper Claw Batman. It does seem like a weird accessory. I'm assuming maybe it has some sort of stun kind of setting where he grasps onto somebody and then stuns them. But I just can't imagine what just holding someone with a pair of claws really does. It's a weird weapon, not my favorite, but I guess, you know, for crowd control purposes, it could come in handy when you have to pick up litter. And then lastly, we have the big kahuna here. Now this is not the first time we've seen this gun. This gun actually came with the Amazon exclusive First Order Stormtrooper, which is basically just a regular First Order Stormtrooper with a ton of accessories, including this one. Now, it's not the exact same. As you can see, basically the barrel and the stock are the same, but on this part, this area right here is folded up. So it can be like he's carrying it around rather than this one where it's sort of just sitting down like he's got it set up to shoot in like a turret stance, I guess. But other than that, they are basically the exact same, with, you know, the difference being where this one is white, this one is red. There is a lot of great molding on here, and the paint looks fantastic. Mine came warped out of the box, giving it sort of a, well, it's kind of a weird phallic look. I'm sure if I heat it up with a hairdryer for a while, the plastic will become malleable, and then I can just kind of fix it as I need to, but I haven't done that yet. And it actually is a much harder plastic than I'm used to kind of working with, so we'll see. So because of this plethora of accessories, I feel inclined to give him the full point. But what are his accessories without the ability to really hold them? And that comes down to articulation. So let's go ahead and take a look at this guy's articulation. His head turns side to side and moves forward this far and back. Not really at all. Shoulder moves up this far. It has a butterfly joint, a slightly greater than 90-degree bend, a swivel at the elbow, a swivel and hinge at the wrist. This wrist hinges this way. He has a swivel at the torso. It moves forward this far, back this far. His leg moves forward this far, back this far. He has an upper thigh swivel, double jointed knee, a hinge at the ankle, as well as a rocker. With this being his widest stance with both his feet flat on the ground. So as you can see, he actually has a fantastic array of articulation. Let's start with the one negative here. The biggest negative I have is his head. It has almost no movement whatsoever other than side to side. I really would have expected it to have a little bit more up and a little bit more down. As far as I can tell, there's nothing stopping it. Like, he does have a thick neck, but I can't tell exactly why he doesn't move forwards and backwards like he should. Maybe the ball joint in there is a little gummed up. Maybe I just need to hit it with a little heat. But this isn't exclusive. Like, I can't just get another one if I break it. So I might wait for the regular line to come out and kind of compare it to that and see what's up and then fix it. But for now, mine is going to have kind of a messed up neck, or at least a very limited articulation neck. But that's the one negative. Let's talk about the many, many positives here. First of all, his shoulders, another one in the line that has butterfly joints. This is something that Hasbro started last year in 2018, and the list of figures that have a butterfly joint just keeps growing, and I can't be happier with it. Butterfly joints help with posing. It's really hard to get a character to hold a weapon in two hands if their shoulders can't come closer together. That's what brings the whole armature together. But the bigger thing here, in my opinion, is if you're used to the First Order Stormtrooper having really terrible elbow articulation, I have good news for you. They finally have a 90 or greater than 90 degree bend at the elbow. Now this is actually just like the articulation that comes with Commander Pyre here. He was the first one that I got that did that. And so it's a very, very nice change to the mold. It's not just a First Order Stormtrooper released in red and then shoved out there. It actually has updated articulation in both the shoulders and the elbows, and it's a welcome change, and it's a much needed change. Now everything else is pretty standard. He's got, his torso joint, which has a lot of great movement on there. His legs actually move a lot further forwards and backwards than the normal First Order Stormtrooper, which is another great change because the armor molding usually got in the way there. His legs are nice and tight, and he has fantastic ankle articulation. Honestly, it's really hard to find fault with this other than the head, and everything else is so much better. I feel like it kind of overshadows the problem I have with the head. So while I am tempted to give it 0.75 in articulation, I think I'm actually going to give it the full point, just because I feel like the improved elbows and the butterfly joints really just kind of make up for that lack of articulation in the head. So we talked about his fantastic articulation, and one of the things that make his articulation so possible is the fantastic sculpt that goes along with this figure. So I could talk all day about the actual sculpt. Before, I want to go over the improvements in detail. The shoulders are actually made out of a soft rubber instead of the hard molded plastic like the rest of the figure. So when you bend the shoulder joint up, the shoulder armor can actually lift up and get out of the way because it can lift up over the armor. But let's talk about the actual armor itself. At first, I thought this was just going to be a First Order Stormtrooper just painted red. I think I said that before, but it's really not. When you get down into it, there's a lot of molded detail and lines and sculpting specifically to this armor. There's just a lot of divots and bumps and ridges in this armor to give it a more angular look. It's covered in tiny little black and gray paint apps to kind of bring out a lot of the details. His helmet is a little bit more angular and sharp than a normal First Order Stormtrooper helmet. It looks less like a duck and a little bit more like a Death Trooper. He also, on his shoulder, has like a weird camera or a light. I don't know what it is. It's something, I noticed in the promo pictures, and I definitely like it. The last thing I want to talk about is his hands. First of all, it's nice that his elbows and shoulders can move to hold a weapon in both hands. But I do want to say, while his right hand is sculpted to hold a weapon very, very well, his left hand is sculpted a little too tight. If you want to hold his weapon two-handed, you do kind of have to stretch it out a little bit, and I don't really like doing that. I feel like I'm going to break it. I haven't so far, but just know that you do have to kind of pry his hands apart to get a gun in there, so just be careful. I could look at this whole thing all day and just gush about it and drool over it, and I probably will, but not right now. Right now, I'm going to give him the full point for a sculpt and paint and detail because it deserves it. This looks phenomenal. And lastly, we're going to get to a kind of a new segment. In the past, I called this the want/availability, but it's really hard to judge this figure on those criteria. First of all, want, I didn't even know this guy existed until like a week ago, so it's really hard to want him, although in general, I do want troopers. That's never really been an issue before. But I can't say that, I really want a Sith trooper because I have no connection to a Sith trooper. Also, in terms of availability, he is a convention exclusive. His availability is awful. Unless you lived in San Diego or came down to Comic-Con specifically, to attend it, or had a really cool friend that went to it and got one for you, thanks, Condi, you really can't get one. Now, on September 10th, they're going to put these on Hasbro Pulse's website, but if the past has been any indication, it's going to sell out instantly, and it's going to be really hard to get one because 1,000 bots are going to buy them all before you have a chance to even open up the website. So by those criteria, I wouldn't give it anything. It's really hard to give it a full point or any kind of points when it's really hard to get this, and it's really hard to say you even care about it other than you've seen it for a week and you finally have it in your hand. So I want to call this section maybe more of the X factor. I want to kind of round out into it maybe things like pricing, my general feelings of having it in my hand, because again, I've only had this at this point for like 24 hours. And I'm judging this figure, a character I've only known existed for a matter of days, all on this review. But let's take a look at some other things. First of all, the price. This guy costs $32. That's a lot. A typical Star Wars Black Series figure costs $20. Now, granted, it comes in a snazzy package, and it comes with like 5 guns, but is he worth $12 more than a standard $20 figure? I really don't think so. I mean, right now he might be because it's the only way to get him. And if you want to be cool, you're going to pay that because you know that, you got to have it first. There are people that pay a lot of money just to have something a couple weeks before the rest of the people. Honestly, if I hadn't gotten this during Comic-Con, I don't think I would have been that broken up about it because I know this is going to come out in the main line. It's going to come out probably Force Friday. Typically when we have a convention exclusive like this, they come out in the main line, but with fewer accessories. If I had to guess, I would say he comes with this, maybe this, probably not these. But who knows? I honestly couldn't tell you. All I know is he's probably going to be available, and I'm definitely buying another one when it comes out. So I have two on my shelf. But this specific release, I really have a hard time justifying spending $32, although I did. Other than the fact that you just get cool points for having it sooner, and a lot of people are jelly. And I get that. I probably would be too, were I in your situation. So for now, I'm going to give it a 0.25 because I love Troopers, and yeah, I want this. But based on price and availability, I just can't in good conscience give it more than that. So if you've been paying attention, you'll know that my final score on this is 4.25 out of 5. It's a fantastic figure. I'm glad I have it on my shelf. I'm glad to bring this to you so you guys have something to look forward to and watch while you're trying to fall asleep or going to the bathroom, or I don't know. But this is in my collection. It's going to sit on my shelf. I'm probably going to rearrange these so I can put it at a place where people can see it. If you're a fan of Troopers, or if you're looking forward to the new movie, or it's tied to the Sith and you're just a really big collector of Sith things, you could probably safely order this when it comes available on September 10th. Or if you can, afford the prices on eBay. I think last time I saw this guy was going for like $90, which is ridiculous. Or it's something to look forward to when it comes out in the normal line. So that's it for my Sith Trooper review. Did you get it? Are you waiting for the September 10th online Hasbro Pulse release? Are you going to pass on it for now and hope to get it when it comes out in the main line? Let me know down in the downstairs area. I love to read and respond to all the comments. It helps my channel out a lot if you could like, share, and subscribe. There's also a couple different ways down in the downstairs area if you want to help my channel in other ways, including sending me things to my P.O. box to unbox. And with that, that's it. Thanks so much for getting this far, and I'll see you later. Bye.